Hello, everyone, and it is Sunday. It is time for Adventures Anonymous, but not quite yet. Just gonna hold up your train of excitement for just a moment as we have night two of the Duo Streaming's 1 year anniversary. Tonight is the actual anniversary. It was 1 year today that we did our first episode of Journeys in Drutori, and yeah, we're here to celebrate a little bit. Last night we went over some of the changes to our setups for Journeys in Drutori through the year, how we've grown and a bit like that. Tonight we're just going to do the same thing with Adventures Anonymous. However, Adventures Anonymous came about. Our lovely Okami that we have here was also with us in the Minecraft server that shall not be named. And though we did not hang out much there together, we did end up reconnecting later on through a voice acting project that kind of was defunct and fell apart. But it came about that we and a bunch of other people wanted to do a D&D campaign, and Okami stepped up and wanted to DM. So working with Okami, I gave them access to all the resources we have here in Roll20, and this is what she has come up with. And Adventures Anonymous has been going ever since. So, yeah, it was nice to have her on the team, and still is nice to this day, as we do have some cross play between the two groups. And while the entire campaign has not been streamed, we did start it beforehand. Before you see the first episode here, when she finally agreed to let us start streaming it, it has went very well. And yeah, anything Molly would like to say, or Molly/Akami would like to say about all of that before I show the progression?
In my defense, for why we didn't hang out in the server that shall not be named, you were an admin and were scary.
Me? Scary? How?
Hey, you see the blue tag pop up and somebody's getting talked to by an admin, and it's intimidating, especially as someone like me who, until you get to know me, is someone who could be classified by technicality as shy and quiet, and then you get to know me and all hell breaks loose, and I apologize for nothing. But there's that degree of separation, and then I got to know you and everything went downhill in the best ways. But truthfully, it has been my honor and my pleasure, and I was very touched when you brought me in for the whole Journeys in Drutori duo server thing. I was very honored, and I still am, to have been brought on as a part of this, and I'm so excited to be able to share the chaos that we have had through the 2.5 years that this game has been running, something at least.
Close to that, yeah.
And the changes that have happened and just everything, and it's amazing to think about where we started and to where we are now. It's just so amazing.
Oh, yeah. And all the friends that came with us along the way. Except for one.
We don't talk about Bruno.
We'll just like we did last night, we'll just go through real quick the progression of our setup here for Adventures Anonymous, and then we'll go into the game. Let me just make sure I got the right card here. All right. Yes, this is what we looked like, first of all. Again, just like with Drutori, wasn't very good at designing at the time. This was probably during Drutori's second iteration, so this was probably matching about the same system as that. And then, we got the little banner at the bottom and our proper icons. Moving on, we've changed the background a little bit, fixed some spacing, and we have not yet upgraded to the new layout like we have Drutori. We're still waiting on some art, but we're getting there. We're getting there. As always, make sure you check out Adventures Anonymous on our YouTube page, just like I said last time. We have the entire library in order there, and we're slowly working on going through and cutting out dead space, like the break timers and stuff, just to try and shorten that up and make it a more enjoyable experience for everyone. And in connection, well, not really connection, but with Okami as DM, we have the Arcane Imbalance, which is a 4-part miniseries with myself and Jason from Drutori and Mia from Jutori / Augie from Adventures Anonymous, as well as, was it just us three?
Chris.
Chris, yes, Garganoth from Jutori as well. Um, so check that out, and if you're not really in the mood for a 22 episode long D&D experience, we have the 4, and then we have the 3 with Black Razor.
Whoop, whoop.
If
That
you're going to
one-
watch anything for duo gaming, go watch Black Razor.
That
it.
little
Do it now.
little one isn't supposed to be in there, but just a sneak peek there. As always, I just want to thank Liana Draws for our character art, and whoops, wrong way. And RPG Music Maker on YouTube for the music that you all hear in the background. Does some wonderful compositions and has a extensive library, and always does it duty free and allows people to use it for their streams. And as always, non-sponsored Roll20, where all of our magic happens. And yeah, that is all. I just want to thank everybody for all the time this year and all the hard work that has been put in. And just let you all know that it is appreciated on every level. And that I hope we continue to grow, and I look forward to continue to grow and have lots and lots of more fun times with this group as a whole. I think that's all I've got for today. We will have our players talking about some of their favorite moments in the campaign around break time. So grab your snacks and hop in around then. It won't just be music and pretty artwork cards. We'll actually be talking and chatting and hanging out a little bit during the break. So without further ado, and with enough of me talking, I'm going to swap over to Okami with just a little caveat that our lovely icons are not working today. So you won't get to see our pretty icons move and all that. It sucks, I know. Terrible, but I can't fix it because it's a service we use, and it is not operational today for some reason. So it's the best I can do. I'm sorry.
I'm fascinated about which map the Twitch stream is on because it doesn't look quite right.
Well, it's probably not logged in as a player. Hold on. Yep, it's logged in as a GM.
Pulling back the curtain ever so slightly. And I think by now all of our wonderful viewers understand that it's not a duo gaming stream without at least a couple technical difficulties.
That's not a technical difficulty. That was just Doomy not paying attention.
Same thing.
I meant the icons. I wasn't gonna call any attention to the man behind the curtain. That one's on you.
Yeah. Well, if the icons start to work later, because I'm periodically checking the reactive website that we use to generate those icons, I'll pop them on. Right now, I've just got them hidden. Because here, I'll give you a little peek behind the curtain real quick. Because with the icons not working, it looks like this.
And we pause.
Nobody likes
Dramatic
that.
effect.
Nobody likes that. So
Yo.
It's certainly something.
yeah, it's certainly something. But yeah, so here we are. It's all yours.
Here we are, and here we shall be for hopefully many more years. At least one. We at least got to get to two.
Agreed.
But yes, with all the sweet, wonderful, kind things we've said about each other for now out of the way, we will dive back underground to where our players are emerging from even further underground, back into slightly less underground. Having defeated the dragon and started to loot Zypher's hoard, let's all call it what it is at this point. This man is basically a dragon in disguise. Our players make their way back up to the surface, back to the mining town that they had stopped in previously. I don't believe you guys had rested for the night. I believe we had paused. Was there anything anyone wanted to do in town before we go ahead and I be a gracious DM and allow you to vaguely heal from your wounds?
Well, I would like to remind everybody we leveled up.
That too.
Could I do that? What level are we?
11.
11.
Our dear doctor's favorite number last session, 11.
And yet,
Yay,
our dear
reliable talent.
doctor did not level themselves up.
I think they may have something against that particular number, so.
I say we don't remind them, and next session when they're rolling all crazy and like, where did you get these skills? We're like, oh, I don't know. I just always had them.
I second that opinion.
You mean like we did to you that one time?
Yes, exactly.
So
I
it's
gotta be
revenge.
mysteriously never rolling below a 10 for any of my trained skills.
Oh God.
I have to redo all of your DCs.
Yes, please do. Just for him.
I do. There are so many DCs I have to adjust for Captain Sneaky Pants over there.
He's not the captain.
Why adjust them?
Why adjust them? Because I don't want to be able to have you look at a luck and have it faint.
But it's my specialization.
It is your specialization, and you can still have off days with your specialization.
Ure can pick locks with sheer willpower.
Ure
Just a
is the Chuck
smoldering smile.
Norris of locks. He looks at
The
him and
minimum I can roll is 29.
My statement stands of I need to adjust your DCs.
That shouldn't be right.
It shouldn't be, but it is.
Gloves of thievery.
Bullshit.
Hey, I can make those. Scratch was wearing those for a while.
Yeah?
That's how I pickpocketed all that shit.
I'm gonna attune to
Shadow
these
where?
boots and put one of you in the shadow jail.
No, not the Shadow Realm.
Oh wait, this isn't me Mechanicus. I can't just randomly banish one of you.
But yes, you guys are now in the mining town and everything is bustling. There are people walking around. There's a few vendors set up. It's not quite as active as it had been when you guys first went down. Scratch, since you are the only one acclimated to underground, you would recognize that it has been probably a little over 12 hours since you guys first went down, if not a little longer. So people are just starting to open up for the market. For everybody else, it's dark. There's people walking around doing things. None of you have any idea what time of day it is.
Judging by the humidity and staleness of the air, as well as the activity of the small cave insects, I'd say we've been down there for about half a day.
It
What did
felt
you say?
like forever.
Which part?
I can't have heard what you really said.
I said
Did you say something about caving sex?
no. Cave insects.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Oh, I bet.
Scratch just glares at Kyrius for a minute. Walks
So
away.
Kyrius was having some very interesting times while everyone's backs were turned.
He slipped into the Fey realm again.
Dick first.
I slipped and fell and it just went in.
What?
It's the cucumber all over again.
Disgusting. Is it like time to see sunshine yet?
I don't know. Do we need to go back and talk to regular size Zypher, or because I missed the ship.
I think
hate
we were
saying-
going to drop Tamsin off, or not Tamsin.
You hear that, Tansin?
Not Tamsin.
You're off the ship.
The other T name.
Suddenly, in a completely alternate world, a woman on an adventure with her group stops and feels as if someone has called her name.
She sneezes. That's what happens when people talk about you.
Even better.
Hell.
For Tans, not Tams.
I thought
Yes, as I
we
was
were
saying.
we were taking our new friend with us.
Zypher knows everything we did anyway via Little Zypher, correct?
Yes, he is the eyes and ears.
Are
So
we gonna go over what we got as a bounty from the horde, or are we saving that for like off stream?
Oh, we should probably do that ahead of time. Unless the DM wishes not to.
The DM never had a chance to think about it.
In DM's defense, I have recently started a new 40-hour workweek job and have been brain dead most of the week.
Oh my god, congratulations.
Thank you. I work at a butcher shop.
Fun.
Just don't get into any bathtubs with candlestick makers.
Oy.
Hey, it's only dangerous if there's a baker.
Well, to update the stream, Scratch did find an arcane cannon among the loot, which is very large, and Salt is currently carrying. And Scratch also found, well, I mean, we all found the metal that was there, and took quite a bit of it, I think. I can't find where I wrote it down just at this moment, but yeah, I did take a bunch of that. Or I
Kyrius
thought
got a field ring and a +2 breastplate.
Oh, Kyrius, I found these new pair of boots. I was wondering if you would like my old pair. They help with sneaking.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you even
Yurei is going to give you a pair of, at least cosmetically modified boots of elven kind.
Ooh.
Because Yurei got some new boots.
Yes, and DM does have other stuff that I will parse out to you guys. I just have to finish compiling my list, but I do have other things that you guys would have picked up and collected as well. I just have to finish sorting everything, and then hopefully next session we will have a more complete list of what our players gathered.
Okay.
Do the boots have to be attuned to?
They do not. You can just wear them.
Woohoo!
I would recommend cleaning them though.
What were
Yes,
the
it is-
boots?
Hand-me-downs.
Carius has Yurei's old boots of elven kind.
Okay. I think I have a card for that.
So yeah, we'll send you the item card that for the boots Yurei found.
Find out if I have a card made for it here in a second. I do not. That's all right. Continue. Oh, yes, I do. Awesome. There it is.
Yes, they don't quite look the same as this. They do look a little different, but they have the same effects.
Oh, I was waiting for other people to speak up, but there's... What about Tamsin? Did Tamsin find anything fun?
Rain only found a few, like, she found a scroll. And I think she found, like, a magic ring with a single charge of a cantrip. But
Oh.
nothing was really quite her style.
Halstrom grabbed as much mithril ingots as he could carry.
Augie, I'm waiting to see what Augie got.
I will let our group know. Augie found a sword.
A sword.
Ooh.
A sword. I will have to give specifics to Augie later, but yes, Augie gets an upgrade to her sword, to their sword.
Yay.
After all the work we did on that thing.
Right? Find it.
Oh,
Find
I
a magic smith. Fuse them together.
appreciate it.
The Yurei, the boots, they were just a pair of Elvenkind boots, just cosmetically they look different, is that what I understand?
Yep, they look like a pair of what's the type of shoe? The type of
Do they look like ninja boots?
pretty much.
Like tabby boots.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's out of the way.
All right, so we're here. How's everyone on supplies?
I'm fine.
I don't think I need anything from down here.
Potions?
I mean, we could always use potions. Captain Scratch.
I'm down to 16 arrows, but I started with 20, so it's not a big deal.
I would like to take this medal to the local smith so he could give me more about this information.
Okay.
I don't have any potions at all, so.
Alright, Augie, if you want to go get
Yes.
some potions, here's, and he reaches into the bag of holding and hands you 100 platinum pieces.
Wow. To the apothecary.
Alstrom, here, take one of these.
And he sets the bag down, reaches in, and with two tiny hands, and holds it up over his head. It's one of the purple bars of orichalcum.
Have a check on this, too.
Will do. If need be, I could probably ask permission from the lord of this land if we could commandeer more of the metals.
I'll toss Kyrius 100 platinum.
I don't need it, Captain.
don't even know what I was going to tell you to go get.
Oh, I thought you were just giving me money. But I
No,
still probably don't need it.
Well, fine, here's 10 platinum. Go get us some provisions for the journey home.
Sounds good. Kyrios has spent like less than, I don't know, I've spent very little of the money since the last time I got paid, so I've got tons of gold.
Good. And,
Shall I take Tanzanite back to the castle?
if you want to, Rain. I think Tanzanite and I need to have a discussion before we go, though. And Lachlan, here's 50 platinum. Go get us some medical supplies other than potions. Things we might need: bandages, healing kits, potions. Some potions would be nice.
Lachlan nods, takes the money. I'll see what they have, Captain. And just kind of looks over at Brutus. Brutus, come on. And heads off.
Lachlan, what happened to your accent?
Lachlan's a little under the weather at the moment. Your doctor isn't feeling 100%.
All right. I'll wait here as a place for everyone to meet back up with, and I'll kind of sort the things out that we gathered up and just threw in the bag. Sound like a plan?
Do you want me to come back here after bringing Tanzanite to the castle, or would you rather just have me stay there and wait for you?
No, I mean, you should come back here. I don't think we're gonna have to go back to the castle. Unless, what does everybody think?
Did we not want to talk to Zypher in person?
I think it would be rude to just dip.
I have to agree with Augie in that regard. Kind of just coming in here, going to their vault, and then leaving without at least saying goodbye. Seems like a good way to get on his bad side.
As much
Besides,
as I
we
would,
have to check in with how those coins he was making are going.
as much as I would love to just make a beeline back to the ship, I think they're right.
Well, alright. We'll wait to take Tamsin once everybody gets back together. No use sending one person that far ahead without the rest of us.
Aye, aye,
Anybody-
Captain.
Anybody think of anything else we need to gather up before making this journey? Because I have a feeling Zypher isn't going to want to give us many provisions after we've just raided the family vault.
We did it with permission, though.
He said we could.
Yeah,
And we
but
did get rid of a growing problem inside his vault.
Scratch absent-mindedly reaches to his belt to feel the wrapped-up crystal.
Yeah, we did. But I still don't think he's going to be very generous.
I mean, it is what it is.
No lie, he's a lot different than the stories that my master's grandfather have told us.
Yes,
I-
maybe he softened after a very long time.
Perhaps. I still don't like to
Oh.
take the chance. Well,
Before I go to where I'm going, does anybody maybe want to chaperone? Because one, I don't know where I'm going. Two, if you leave me to find it on my own, I never will. And three, I will not make it back.
Well, if I'm not taking Tanzanite, then I'll go with you, Aki.
No, thanks. Are you good at directions?
If nothing else, I can get an aerial view.
That's true. That's true.
I could come with to actually ask. I do speak the local language.
Ye old undercommon.
It's very similar to Undercommon, so it's pretty easy to sort of adapt.
Most of them
Alright.
speak Elven. I haven't been having much trouble.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
great
I
plan.
speak Elvish. I speak Elvish too.
Sounds like a great plan. Everybody's got a travel buddy. Yay!
Do you have a travel buddy, Mr. Scratch? Because of all people, I need a travel buddy.
I'm not traveling. I'm staying here, remember?
Right here, you're not moving from this very spot.
Scratch drags his big backpack over to, I don't know, is there a stump or a rock or something nearby that's big enough?
Yeah, there's a few rocks. There's not many in this area. You are decently close to what appears to be a small cemetery, but there are a few tree stumps, a couple rocks, and there's two that look like they could very easily sit you, your backpack, and Salt.
I find one of the rocks that are a reasonable distance away from said cemetery.
Yes, there is. If you look on your map and you see the tree that looks like it has a face, there is a rock just about here. It's a
Okay.
little to the far side of the mine, but you can easily see the town. You can easily see into the buildings. You would be able to be very easily seen.
Drags his bag over to the rock, sits on the rock.
Yes, I stay right here. Gives me time to think and talk to Tanzanite.
All right.
Tanzanite just kind of looks over at Augie. I'll keep him in check, mostly.
That was almost convincing, Tanzanite. All right, Rolo. You're on babysitting duty. And I just roll him over to the stump.
Salt
And
reaches down and picks up Rolo.
He
Ah,
gives big old baby eyeballs. Blink, blink.
Tanzanite just kind of looks at him. Ah, yes, the tactical possum bodyguard.
Salt, can you please punch Tanzanite in the shoulder?
Salt
Go
looks
ahead.
at you, Scratch.
Go ahead. Deadly, 10% power.
Give me a strength roll for Salt.
Oh, that's not a good idea.
I think it's a delightful idea.
What?
Okay.
Yeah. He kind of brings his fist up and just kind of thinks about it for a second, and then just kind of reaches out and just quickly taps against her shoulder, and brings his fist back down.
Okay, good.
Rolo, feel free to occasionally roll directly into Tanzanite's shins. At maximum power.
Augie, actually, everyone here who's still here can see that Tanzanite's kind of fighting back a smirk. She's very much trying to still look depressed and dejected, because she is, but she's trying very hard not to smile.
All right. Everybody has their plan. Let's do the shopping, resupply, and then remember we don't have all day. We still got a friend to save.
Ah. Isn't that what people on boats say?
Yes.
All right.
Avast!
I have heard the phrase also on starships too.
What's a vast mean? A vast what? We are in a vast place under the ground.
It means go.
Oh, okay. We're going. I love you, Rolo.
Correction, Captain. It means stop.
Kyrius has already walked off looking for supplies.
To the merits.
Halstrom's going to walk off towards the blacksmith.
I'll send a list later of the things I buy, Okami, if that's okay. But just as a heads up to everybody else, I get no spices.
Yep.
No.
Sounds
Perfect.
about right.
Do we have an inkling that this is gonna has our food been bland?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It has been extremely bland.
That's been the running joke since I became cook.
It's
Okay.
been so long since we've been on the ship, I forgot.
So there were 2 days when Kyrius was missing, when he was being all Fey touched, when his doppelganger was here, and the food was the best it had been in a long time. And then it went back to being bland, and nobody said anything.
If only the Fae gave him some cooking lessons.
Seriously. All right. Maybe dead people eat well.
The spiciest food you guys have had has been onions and garlic.
Though. God. All right. Chop, chop. Let's go.
I imagine Augie just has like a little shaker of spices that they keep in their
Oh my God,
pocket at
yeah,
all times
At all times. In a bottle of sauce, you know. Like,
to secretly dip
cannot.
into the food.
cannot handle that.
Masaru or Yurei occasionally offering some wasabi.
My dad used to bring hot sauce with him to restaurants.
Oh my god.
It's really
What
common.
a boss.
They have little keychain things that you can put around a bottle, like for like a mini bottle of sauce. Keep it on your keychain.
Yep, I've seen this.
Augie just has a bottle of Johnny's and a bottle of Tapatio wherever they go.
Oh God, they love tapatio.
Tahine.
Tahine, Old Bay, and Johnny's, and like 3 different hot sauces, depending on the cuisine.
Yeah, I don't have a potion belt. I have a hot sauce and spice belt.
So that's where Scratch's old potion belt went.
I commandeered it, if you want boat language.
Of course, it's wrapped around Augie's thigh because it's not big enough.
It adds to my allure. My
When you,
spice
guys were
garter.
at the, when you guys were at the ball, Augie was just showing off the spice belt.
It's my spice garter.
I love it.
All right.
If people
So-
want to shop first, I'll have my conversation with Tanzanite last, if that's preferable.
It's like you can read my mind for what I'm going to ask.
There
Someone
you
go.
has done this once or twice.
Since I'm literally just buying food, I will do mine off stream if that's okay.
Oh, you don't ever know if something magical's gonna happen when you go shopping.
Like they pre-spice the food.
They pre-spice the food.
Well, also, Tyrese, I need to know what languages you speak.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
yeah.
this
Oh,
could
that
be
would
much
be
fun.
Hang tight. I didn't have my character sheet up, and Roll20 is very slow.
You'd think you'd learn by now to make sure to have that open because I'm going to ask you strange questions.
Ooh, he getting called out by the teacher.
I can bring the interrogator back to stare down her nose at all of you and critique everything if you guys want me to bring her back.
Still gotta.
All right, I speak Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, Giant, Gnomish, Goblin, and Orc.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, you're probably fine.
Okay.
Just remember, I said probably.
Kyrius is that tourist like in India looking for someone that speaks English. I need potatoes.
I can't understand your accent.
Just had an image of I don't remember which Indiana Jones it was, but Indy says something to Sulla. He's like, "So you remember Marcus got lost in his own museum?" And then it switches to Marcus, and he's like, "Does anybody here speak English?"
The Queen's English, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yes, that's perfect.
But yes, Kyrie, since you volunteered, I think we'll start with your shopping experiences.
Okay. So I will kind of wander somewhat aimlessly. Obviously, I don't know exactly where to go until I find something that looks remotely like a dry goods store. I don't know exactly when we're going to get back to the ship yet, so I'm going to look for something that is fairly non-perishable, rice, beans, that kind of thing for now.
Okay. Yeah, you do find a dry goods store. You know, you guys are right by the mining town, so there's not as much fresh here as there is closer to the capital and the castle. You find a store, and it's a surprisingly quiet little store. There's big barrels of rice, different varieties of rice. There are large barrels of a couple different kinds of beans, and they have signs on them denoting price that you can't read. And there is also an actual main store. And if you head in, which I'm assuming you do,
Mm-hmm.
you walk in, there are ropes of dried garlic and dried onions and dried peppers stretched across the ceiling. There are racks of various dried meats, and there are smaller barrels of dried fruits. And there are actually 2 barrels of what look like hard candies. You don't see anyone in the store, but it smells really good.
I call out, "Hello?"
It takes just a second, and a man comes out from somewhere in the back, and he's another one of the undead drow. He is wearing a shorter sleeve shirt, and you can see that one of his arms is almost completely skeletal. You can see that part of the flesh on his face is missing, and he comes over to you, and he has, the same very dark skin, bright white hair that you've seen from most of the drow in this area. And he comes over to you, and he greets you in a language you don't understand. But
Of course he does.
give me an intelligence check.
Oh, because that's what I'm known for.
Absolutely.
With my +1 to intelligence.
At least it's not a deficit.
I mean, it might as well have been.
That's a save, dear. I need to check.
Oh, saved by the technicality.
Not
Was
by
he,
much.
though?
Or not.
Technically, it was better.
It's definitely better. You know what? I'm a benevolent god. You kind of pick out a couple words from some really old text that you had read in Elvish, and you pretty much figure out that he's greeted you, and you think he has either asked, how can he help you, or is your kelp for sale?
Man, I get that mixed up all the time.
It's such a common problem, yeah.
It is, you know.
I mean,
Especially these underground caves.
I did
It's-
think I heard Scratch say something about cave sex earlier, so it's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's like confusing the infernal word for cheers or the infernal word for turnip.
Secretly,
Exactly.
Kyrius is still suffering from Scratch shooting the pistol inside the cave.
Yeah.
A little bit of ringing in the ears going on.
So this language, though, it seems like some form of derivative of Elvish, or it is like an
This-
old form of Elvish.
This seems like a very, very old form of Elvish that he's speaking.
Like equivalent to like Middle English type Elvish. Is that how we were describing this?
Yeah, think like the iteration of English like right before. Think Chaucer. Not quite as new as Shakespeare, but very much think Chaucer.
Okay. I will respond in Elvish. This is going to be a lot of fun because my Elvish is actually broken Elvish. So I am going to respond in Elvish that I am looking for provisions for my ship and crew.
Okay. You see him. He kind of gives you the same look that you had given him, as kind of oh shit, how do I proceed with this? And he kind of nods very slowly, and he holds up a finger just to indicate one. He heads off into the back, and you can hear two people arguing. And then he comes out with another man who seems to be younger than him, either a younger brother or a son, maybe, or some relation. And the younger one speaks to you in a very formal Elvish dialect. Think much more Shakespeare than Chaucer. And asks you, dost thou require food and provisions for thine crew, or for thyself?
Kyrius, who is not known for his, charisma and way of talking to people anyway, not that these people would know that, stumbles over his words in Elvish, is not very quick. He translates in his head before he says it out loud kind of thing. Like, he's definitely not fluent in Elvish. But he says, for crew.
The younger man just kind of nods, and he asks you, how, number of crew? You can see that he's kind of doing the same thing. He's translating what he says in his head before he says anything to you.
Just a test. In perfect Orcish, Kyrius says, do you understand this any better?
Ooh. Oh, that's clever, dear boy. Hold, please. He responds in, again, it's a little bit of an older dialect of Orcish, but his face brightens up considerably, and he responds a little more formally than you're used to. He responds, yes, I do speak Orcish. I'm very surprised you do.
It's a long story. Probably actually not that long. I was raised by orcs. Yeah, so you were asking how many people we have?
Yes. How many people are on your crew? Is it one of those? And he kind of starts air quoting. Is it one of those aeronautic ships that I've heard about?
Yes. Kyria starts counting on his fingers. A lot.
And he kind of gives you a very serious look. Yeah, yes. For a full ship, I bet that would be a lot. What are you looking for besides general provisions? Do you have anything specific that you're thinking of?
No, I mean, they don't seem to really mind, just regular old, provisions. They eat it and they're happy to have it. No one's ever complained to me. So I guess just some rice and some beans, some onions, some tomatoes, ropes of garlic. That should be good for everybody, I think.
He kind of gives you a very confused look and just no meats, no spices, no nothing like that. I mean, we have no dried fruits, no candies.
I guess if you have some dried meat, something that won't spoil, because I'm not sure when we'll return to our ship, jerky of some kind. If you have dried fruits, those would be fine, but I think some spices are more than we need. It's not something the crew really seems to care for.
I'm 90% sure some of the crew is carnivores.
He just kind of nods and just, all right. I'll see what I can come up with. Can you give me 2 hours to get some stuff together that we can have delivered? Do you have where are you staying, if you don't mind me asking?
RJ doesn't remember where we're staying, but Kyria's obviously would, so where are we staying?
In the castle.
Thought so. We're staying in the castle as guests of Lord Cypher.
This guy's face immediately changes. He gives you big eyes and starts tripping over himself to apologize for the inconvenience of everything that he has now put you through. He will absolutely have supplies delivered to you. To the honorable guests of the exalted lord, he shall have them delivered to the castle with all due haste. It will be 2 hours is the fastest he can have it, and he hopes that is fast enough for someone of your high status.
That's really already too much. Just take your time. However long it takes is fine. If possible, for the entire crew to have enough of these rations for at least a week and a half until we can find somewhere else. And I'd also like to pay for a cart of some kind that we can get it back in.
Yes, of course, Lord. We shall have everything prepared. I can have an invoice as soon as it's ready and available. I will have everything prepared for you, and we will accept payment once the delivery is completed.
You can make the invoice out to Scratch, Captain Scratch, and he'll make sure everything is taken care of.
Yes.
Kyrius pats his pocket with the 10 platinum in it, and that's...
Oh, Scratch is gonna be... Never mind.
Yes, of course, Lord, of course. Is there anything else that I can provide you with, or is it just the provisions for today?
Just those provisions, that's all.
Yes, of course, Lord, of course. It shall be delivered as soon as possible.
Thank you. Again, take your time. I think we're going to stay at least... I think we're staying at least one more night just to rest. So take your time.
Yes, of course. You are so very generous, sir, and I would expect nothing less from an honored guest of His Excellency. Of course, sir, thank you. And he shouts something in that same very old Elvish dialect. And you see a couple people kind of in the back rooms quickly scrambling to get things ready.
Okay. And then I will start headed back to meet where we said we would meet.
Excellent. All right, who wants to have their fun, life-changing shopping adventure next?
Excellent question.
Okay, Yurei or Halstrom, take your pick.
Halstrom.
Perfect. All right, Halstrom, you have received your orders from the captain. You have seen your companions go off in different directions, and you head over to the smith.
Cool. To avoid any potential language barriers, Halstrom's going to cast tongues.
Then they just like sprout all over your faceplate.
He's temporarily activating his internal translator.
Perfect. Yeah, you make your way over to this underground lava crag that you guys had investigated before, and you see the same hulking figure that you had seen before, who is pounding away at an ingot of metal on an anvil. And roll perception for me, Halstrom. Actually, better question. What's your passive?
Halstrom's passive is 18.
Okay. You notice that he looks very tired, but not tired like you've seen from workers before. Every couple swings, this guy is stopping to take a deep heaving breath and kind of wipe his brow before putting force back into these hammer smacks onto this ingot. And you see that each swing seems to take him a little bit more effort than the last.
You appear to be suffering an advanced fatigue, Smith. Perhaps you should take a rest.
Do you just walk up behind him and say this?
Yes, he has no social decorum.
Fair enough.
He is a Magos. This man is basically used to being in a leader.
Fair enough. Roll me a dex save.
Question: what would he roll to hit?
Humor me. Roll me a dex save.
Yes, his best skill.
Okay.
It just bounces off him.
Yeah, so you say this, Halstrom, and with a shout, a hammer is now swinging at your head, and you manage to block it, but it kind of pings off your arm as you bring your arm up to defend yourself before this guy realizes that you're not just sneaking up on him to attack him. And he sets the hammer down with a thunk, and he sighs very heavily, and he just, Metal Man, don't you know that you shouldn't be sneaking up on people like that? That's how you take a hammer to the head. Or arm, as the case may be.
No offense, but my footsteps are very loud. It is quite impossible for me to sneak.
Have you worked in a forge, Metal Man?
I come from a forge world. I understand your statement now.
Very good. You're with the little one, right? The little one that was interested in my necklace. About 3 feet tall. Kobold.
The scaly one, yes.
That one, yes. You're with him, right?
I am indeed part of his crew.
What can I do for you?
Well, first, do you mind if I give you a medical examination? You seem to have a very important job, and it would be bad for you to be in, well, bad health.
I'm AFK a minute.
He kind of sighs a little bit. You and that little one and my men here keep saying I look tired and run down. Fine, fine. Give me an exam all you want.
Let me just roll medicine.
Yep. Halstrom, you notice that this is a similar fatigue to what Opal had gone through when you guys had first gotten the candle all the way back. When he had first made the connection with it, and you had watched as he was more and more tired and fatigued all the time. This is very similar to that.
This fatigue of yours is not natural.
You and that little kobold were saying the same thing. Never did get an explanation from him what that meant. I don't suppose you're going to tell me anymore.
It would be bad. It would be bad of me to not explain upon further examination. It would make me a poor doctor.
He kind of scoffs a little bit. Doctors. No offense to you and your profession. Doctors all want to tell you one thing. They want to tell you to relax, to take it easy, to not swing the hammer so hard you'll hit something. But I've been doing this for 250 years. I'm perfectly fine.
That is very admirable.
I may be younger than most of the other smiths here, but that doesn't mean my work has suffered any more, simply because I'm young.
It has nothing to do with your age. It is a matter of affliction that affects your work. With my help, I perhaps can get you back to top performance for one made of flesh.
Roll me a persuasion, Hellstrom. Yeah, he kind of thinks about it for a minute, and he kind of, I suppose it can't hurt to have you give me a medical check or whatever it is, but
Excuse me, sorry.
it'll get... How dare you? If it get these doctors and my wife and my men off my back, then I suppose I can allow it. And he's leaning against his anvil and just kind of looking at you, Halstrom, and he looks very unimpressed.
This will only take a minute. You said since it's a effect similar to Opal, can I use the Identify spell, because it lets you, if you touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So yeah, Halstrom's going to use that.
Okay.
Spending just a minute of time.
All right. What is your verbal?
Omnisire, grant me the sight to see what ails this individual, so that I might cure him.
Okay. And where do you touch him?
We're gonna touch his chest, see kind of like around the heart and lungs area.
Okay. Yes. So as you touch him, and he kind of looks at you a little bit, and just he sees you reaching towards his chest and moves his hands down so they're just kind of resting on his thighs. Hellstrom, you notice that this man is being affected by a soul drain spell.
Can I determine its source?
Scratch, did he give you his necklace?
What was the necklace again?
It was the necklace that he had with the small metallic crystal in it that he got from his wife. The one that you were convinced she's trying to kill him?
Yes, I could. No. He wouldn't give it up.
That's right. Yes, you notice, Hellstrom, that the source is coming from a necklace that he has with a small gold pendant with a familiar-looking metallic crystal on it. And you notice that the source of the spell is coming from that.
I'm gonna do something crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to use Dispel Magic on the crystal amulet.
Uh-oh.
To try to undo its effects.
Okay. Sure. Give me your verbal and your gesture.
I'm thinking of a line.
What, you don't have lines for all your spells prepped and ready to go? Oh.
Omnissiah's truth shall banish this affliction. Or as the Templars like to say, deny the witch.
Enough. And what kind of gesture do you do?
He kind of puts his hands together in like a sort of quick prayer before having his metal hands kind of touch the locket.
Okay. I need everybody to make me a wisdom save.
I'm not even there.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Stupid low rolls.
Oh no.
Yurei and Halstrom both have to make one.
I know, I'm getting to his character.
Okay. So all of you feel, as Halstrom, as you dispel this magic, a massive wave of energy pushes out. And you feel it surge through you, and you watch as one by one all of the drow in the area are all staggering, gripping their heads. And for everyone in the party, you all feel this sensation of immense grief, but none of you are overwhelmed by it. Scratch, you actually go ahead and take advantage on your save because you felt this before, and you've been at the epicenter of this before. So go ahead and give me another wisdom.
I will as soon as Roll20 decides it's okay for me to. Well, let's see. It's just a d20 plus 1, so I'll just.
Yeah. Yeah, Gucci.
Damn.
You're golden.
I felt this before. Let me steal my mind.
Pretty much. You have felt this before, and you recognize it as sorrow that's not your own. And you recognize this as what had happened in that small cave when you had smashed the cluster of these metallic crystals. And this wave of sorrow just pours out of this small mining town. And Halstrom, you and everyone, all of the people that you're talking to, you watch as they're all gripping their heads, and some of them have fallen to the ground. Some of them are fine, and some of them have collapsed in weeping sobs. And this goes on for a solid 2 minutes until it's suddenly gone. As quickly as it came, the sorrow, this pain, this sadness that had gripped you is gone, as if it had never come before. And Halstrom, the man that you were talking to is looking at you with a mix. And the crystal that you had dispelled magic on Halstrom has now exploded into a very fine powder. And this guy is looking at you with a mix of rage, confusion, and concern.
I did not expect the curse of that to react so violently, I thought. This is an interesting reaction I shall remember for studies.
What in the hells was that? What did you do, Metal Man?
I had removed the curse that was being emanated from the crystal in your locket. The psychic wave that afflicted us seemed to have been a consequence of its dismissal.
Are you meaning to tell me that little runtling kobold was right and my wife is in fact trying to kill me?
I do not, if I had to guess, if your wife sounds as loving as you say she is, it was not intentional. To be fair, it is a very stunning and beautiful gem.
What?
He just kind of looks at you, just kind of glares at you, and just kind of, all right. Well, I suppose as a thank you for saving my life, what can I do for you?
Perhaps I would like to do another medical examination to see if perhaps your vitality is slowly being restored.
Oh, fine.
I shall make that medicine roll.
Please do. Yeah, you can tell that he's still very tired. He's still very fatigued, but you don't get the sense that he's losing energy anymore. You very much get the sense that he is probably slowly regaining energy, but you can't tell just at a cursory once over.
It appears it is having effect. Now, this is going to sound extremely cliche, but I do recommend that you at least take things mildly easier. It does not mean stop your work, because we both know you will not do that.
All right, fine. Is there anything else I can help you with?
I have 2 metals I would like you to help examine. I am unfamiliar with this land, and their properties seem fascinating.
Well, I'll take a look.
Halstrom's going to pull out the orichalcum and the blackened mithril.
Okay. He takes the mithril first and pulls out what looks like a jeweler's glass. And just kind of examines it and just, well, this appears to be a very old bar of mithril. If I didn't know better, I'd say this was probably several thousand years old, but I realized mithril oxidized, so I guess it must just take a while. He sets that one down and he picks up the other bar and he just kind of... Now this is not something I recognize. I'll have to get my teacher involved in this. He's a master smith. If anyone will know, it'll be him. You... don't go anywhere, Metal Man.
I have no intention of it.
And he sets the 2 bars down on the anvil and walks away. And you hear kind of a murmured, very quiet conversation happening a little ways away as this man is talking to someone who appears to be significantly younger than him. And is in a very, very fervent conversation, and then he leads the younger man over, who looks at you. It's kind of... My student here tells me you have a strange bar of an orange metal. Anything in particular about this metal you'd like to share? Where you found it, where you dug it up from?
Well, if I told you where we found it, you would find the claim to be dubious, to say the very least.
Try me.
The ancient vaults of the lord of this land, through the maze, in the old training grounds.
Okay, that's fair. You're right. I don't believe you. But let's just say, for a moment, that you did somehow make your way all the way down into the ancient vaults, and you did somehow make your way down into the old castle, and you did somehow make your way into the Lord's armory, and you did somehow find this metal. There's only one thing it could be, and I refuse to believe it's true. If everything you've told me is correct, you have found bars, or at least a bar, of orichalcum. And that can't possibly be true, because orichalcum is not real. However,
did not mean to interrupt you.
You're fine. You wouldn't be the first youngling I've had to smack down for talking over me. However,
I am far older than you.
I highly doubt that. However, if anyone would have this material, it would be our great king. And he kind of looks over at the anvil and he sees the mithril and he picks it up and he hefts it very easily for someone that you would assume would have, just based on physical characteristics, would very much struggle lifting this bar. He picks it up as if it weighs nothing.
I mean, it is mithril.
Yeah. And he looks at the mithril and he just kind of, it's a standard, he kind of taps it with his finger. Oxidized mithril, nothing a little forging, a little heat can't treat. And he picks up the kind of orangey bar.
Oxidize.
Huh?
Did not know mithril could oxidize like iron.
It takes a very long time. Mithril oxidizes extremely slowly. It is nearly impossible, mostly because it's processed too quickly for it to ever have that chance. This bar that I'm holding in my hand is easily 4,000 years old. It's the only reason I'm believing what you're telling me, strange metal man. What is your name, by the way?
I go by the name Halstrom, but if you would like my full designation, I could give it to you if you desire.
As one master smith to another, I would appreciate to be able to acknowledge you with the honor that you're due. I recognize someone with the fine craftsmanship you wear. I recognize expert craftsmanship when I see it.
I am Magos Dominus Halstrom of the Forge World of Damaska.
Welcome to my shop, Magos Dominus Halstrom of Forge World Damaska. My name is Smithmaster Alvernus. I have been running this shop for about 3,000 years now. I'm very honored to have you. Now, this mithril that you have, and he kind of points at you with the ingot. This mithril is 4,000 years old. I would know this. I forged this block. And he kind of shows you the bottom, and he shows you the smith seal on the bottom of the ingot. I forged this. I know how old this is. I know the day that this was put into that vault. And he sets it down and he picks up the orange block. This, and he shows you how the bottom of the ingot is completely smooth. This does not have a maker's mark on it. You're telling me you found these in the same position, and this metal, this impossible metal that I'm holding in my hand, was put in that vault. This impossible legendary metal. This metal that is used to create weapons that have been reported to kill gods, that I'm holding in my hand, was in the same vault.
Correct.
You're really committed to the story, aren't you?
I could cast Zone of Truth for you if you wish for me to give you some more credence to the, quote, story.
And he just kind of sets the block down. Tell me, Magos. What was the name of the dragon in the vault?
Vermithrax. He had been erupted.
What color was he?
Black is not the correct phrase. It is more like it was the shadows themselves.
He just kind of looks at you, just kind of crosses your arm and goes, I'll be a surface monkey's uncle.
What did he have for dinner?
What is your name? What? What is your favorite color?
Red.
That is entirely unsurprising, Magos. You have actually brought me legendary bars of orichalcum. Gods below.
What what do you want me to do with this? Do you You have brought me a material that shouldn't exist. Do you understand the implications of what this metal is?
It sounds like a metal of legends that most smiths would dream to work with.
It is the metal of legend. This is the material that's used to forge god-killing weapons. And you have brought me a fully processed ingot of it. There are smiths greater than myself that would enthusiastically murder you to get a hold of this bar. What would you like me to do with it, Magos? What can I, but a humble smith, do to provide you with a weapon appropriate of this material?
Personally, I would prefer to understand how to work with it myself, perhaps using the smithing techniques of forgeable Damascus, unique steels, unique metal properties.
He kind of looks at you, just kind of squints at you a little bit, kind of gives you a once over. Knowledge for knowledge. You teach me yours, I teach you mine.
That is a fair trade. There is nothing better than the preservation of knowledge. So says the Omnissiah and the great machine god.
Sounds like your gods and my king would get along pretty well. Tell you what. You give me some time. I can get my forge set up. If you can give me, let's say, 3 hours to prepare, I can teach you what I know. How long are you staying?
Unfortunately, I do not believe we will be staying long due to us having a time-sensitive task to rescue a friend.
He kind of raises an eyebrow. Rescue mission. I tell you what, Magos. I'll keep this bar safe for you. I won't touch it. I won't use it. Soon as your little rescue mission's over, you come find me again. I'll teach you how to process orichalcum. I'll teach you what to do with it. I'll teach you how to forge weapons with it. And you teach me your Dalmascan steelwork. And we'll see what we can do.
It would be an honor, Master Smith Alvernus.
Close enough.
Forgive me, the player cannot remember names very well.
You're fine. Neither can the DM. And he reaches into his pocket, Haustrom, and he pulls out a coin. It's a beaten steel coin that you recognize as a smith's coin. This is something that's typically used by smiths to sign their work. You've seen these coins before, different varieties, different styles, and this one is very simple. It just has what you assume to be his initials that have been essentially pressed into the steel, so that when this coin is hammered onto something, it leaves the indent of his initials. Bring that back to me when you're done, and we'll talk metal.
You have my word. Hellstrom actually gives a polite bow.
Ooh. Alvernus gives a very short one in return. Anything else for the smithy, Hellstrom?
I believe that is it. Perhaps Hellstrom will wonder, how long we will be staying and see if he can trade as much knowledge as he can with the smith before meeting up with the group.
Fair enough. You guys make small talk for a little bit.
Yep.
All right. And then yes.
Did you see my message in Discord?
Yes, I do. I just haven't had a
Okay.
chance to respond.
No,
to
that's
it
fine.
yet.
Just wanted to make sure you saw it.
Yes, I have seen it, and I've been making a small list of little wooden figurines that you find. Well, different materials, but some wood, some different materials. But yes. All right, Yurei, we'll do you.
Yurei doesn't really have anything he wants to do other than just kind of find either help people with translating or just kind of continuing to read the handbook that he found in the library.
You're gonna find a tree to perch in?
Pretty much. Or a rooftop to sit on.
Just go scale one of the buildings and observe your companions.
I mean, he could just do that with a simple flick of his wrist, and there goes the grappling hook.
Yeah, is that what you do?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, you scale up one of the buildings. People give you funny looks, but nobody really says anything. They just kind of shrug. Because you're not damaging anything, you're not getting in anyone's way, you're actually kind of going out of your way to get out of the way. And people just kind of shrug and let you be on your way.
His footwork is very light. Nothing gets damaged.
Yeah, and that's kind of why people just let you be. And you're just going to continue to study the pamphlet and observe your companions?
Yep.
All right. Then we will transition over to Rain and Augie.
Well, let's see if we can find something and then find our way back.
We're looking for potions, right?
Yeah, but as we walk away from the group, I say I would I kind of also want to get a jokey present for our downtrodden friend, and see if I can find anyone to make a tunic that has a possum on it.
A possum. Okay.
I know. Very on the nose, if you will. But I think she needs something to kind of pick her up, a light, if you will, to remind her that there are people out there with her best interests in mind.
Between you and me, I think that what she just needs is time to process. But comfy things are always good.
Yes, I feel like comfort items are just the bee's knees, honestly.
All right. So as you guys are wandering around, you do see a couple different potion shops. There's one that's more of a smaller apothecary style. It seems to have more dried herbs in the windows, bigger barrels of spices and things, and not as many.
Yes.
Not as many pre-made potions, and then there is another shop that does sell mostly pre-made potions.
All right. First, I want to hit up the spice vendor because, I like an exotic mix. I'm always looking for something different.
Especially if it's from the Underdark.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I can help you there, my friend.
Oh my.
What?
I'm a tiefling. I have a very developed sense of taste. Especially when it comes to spice.
I'm not sure if that's straightforward or an innuendo, but let's find out. To the store.
I feel like I need to make Augie make a wisdom save at this point. Yes, so you guys head into the apothecary first?
Yeah.
All right. You guys walk in, and as you walk up, there are some barrels of. They're definitely potion ingredients. Neither one of you are 100% sure what they are, but they are definitely potion ingredients. And as you walk in, you open up the door, and it smells damp. It smells like damp plants and earth and something spicy, and then damp again.
I love it. like after it rains and everything smells earthy.
Yeah.
And pungent in the forest. Ugh, beautiful.
Very much so.
I'm gonna call out in Elven for a shopkeeper or anyone there, basically. She's like, "Hello."
Okay. You both hear kind of a rustling sound, and then you hear kind of a wet squelch, followed by some muffled swearing, and then a very frazzled woman kind of pops up behind the counter. She's about 5 feet tall, rail thin. She's probably the oldest looking person you guys have seen in this whole kingdom. And she just kind of pops up, and in very surprisingly modern Elvish. Who's there? Who? Oh, hi, customers. Yes. Hi. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Can I help you?
I hope so. I'm looking for exotic spice mixes.
She kind of looks over at Rain. Seems like you have one next to you.
Oh, you're sweet.
Augie awkwardly laughs.
Oh, I'm sorry. Or did you mean like spices to consume, like potions and I guess supposedly cooking, but some of them explode.
Yes, spice mix, not spice minx.
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. Yes. What kind of spices are you looking for on a scale of surface human to underdwarf? What are we thinking?
Oh, I would like to try some underdwarf.
She kind of pops down again. You hear her rummaging around, and she pops up with a very surprisingly small jar filled with a red paste so dark it's almost black.
My mouth is watering.
And it is sealed with silver wax around the cork, and she holds it out very carefully, and she says, "This is known as Reaper sauce. It is the hottest thing I own. It has been known to curl the beards of dwarves, should you dare to try it."
That looks like it'd make a fiend blush.
I look at Rain because, like, one, mouth watering. Two, the potential chaos that this could bring to the ship just really gets my blood going. Yes, I'd like that for sure. Yep. Mm-hmm.
The whole jar, or would you care to try it first?
No, absolutely not. I want the whole thing.
She kind of looks over at you, Rain. The whole thing.
Whole thing.
I'm just making sure, 'cause this is very potent stuff. Not that warriors like yourselves can't handle it. I just, some people get surprised by this stuff.
Whole thing.
Okay. She very gently sets the jar on the wooden countertop. And if neither one of you knew better, you would have sworn you heard the wood hiss.
Oh.
And she kind of keeps an eye on you, kind of flicks her eyes between the two of you and the jar, and just kind of ducks back down very quickly and pops back up with a notepad. Anything else?
Do you have anything that is more day-to-day level, but just makes the food mouth-wateringly delicious?
I mean, I have love potion ingredients. I'm not really much for one of the conventionally safe to eat types. I'm more of the one that you put them together and you make potions, typically to throw at your enemies and watch them die a horrible death type.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Oh, we have one of those too.
An enemy that you wish to die a horrible death, or one that makes potions that makes your enemies die horrible death?
The latter. Although I haven't seen anyone die from the potions yet, which is probably a good thing since he likes to test them on his friends.
Are we talking both Mr. Scratch and Mr. Lachlan?
Potentially.
Well, do you have anything with fun side effects but temporary?
She kind
And
of...
we're also looking for health potions.
Oh, yes, health potions, if you have any of those.
I mean, I have some... I guess they're technically health potions. They kind of have your temporary side effects. There's one that I have that sold pretty well until people realized that it turned your armor different colors. And then I have one that makes you hiccup bubbles for about an hour. I have one. Oh, I have one that makes you convinced that you're invisible. You're not actually invisible, but you just become convinced you're invisible. It was supposed to be an invisibility potion, but people figured out that it actually made a really surprisingly good health potion.
Yes.
Those all do sound like fun.
I want them all.
I mean, if you guys actually want them, I have a few. I blend most of my recipes myself, so they're always a little different. But I have a few that are, like they're all my defect batch. I sell them, honestly, for coppers on a gold.
As many ones that people will think they are invisible, the better.
She kind of scratches her chin and just kind of, I think I've got at least 4, maybe 5.
Absolutely.
You guys are sure you don't just want regular health potions? You want the...
I mean, we do, but I also want those.
Fair enough. Just the invisible ones or anything else? Oh, I will let you know that with the invisibility ones, it is actually clear until you shake it and get some air bubbles in there. There is actually liquid in the vials, I promise.
I mean, what do you think? Burton bubbles?
Ooh. And the armor changing color one would be very funny to give Diore. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Let's see. I haven't. You kind of see her kind of walk off, and you hear her kind of rummaging around. You hear clinking and clattering, and she comes back with a surprisingly large armful of potion bottles, and she sets 5 up on the counter that look completely empty. It looks like there is not a drop of liquid in these bottles. Well, these will make you think that you're invisible. And then she sets 3 on the counter that are all a very bright red, almost like a tomato sauce red, that are very subtly changing colors through a few different shades of red. This one will make you hiccup. Sometimes it's bubbles, sometimes it's fire, sometimes it's just hiccups.
Ooh, fire. Sounds fun.
Well, and thankfully it's harmless fire. It's illusionary fire. It's not real fire.
Aw.
It was supposed to be a fire-breathing potion. A lot of my potions start out as different things, and then they keep coming back to health potions. I'm not sure why.
Maybe in a past life you specialized in the healing magic.
Ugh. I tried healing magic once. Didn't end well. It's actually how my poor husband lost his left eyebrow.
Oh,
Did it grow
yeah,
back?
I was about to ask the same thing.
Mostly in some spots.
He's fine.
He's fine. He never felt better, but occasionally things are known to blow up in your face, but they're harmless. They're health potions. They're mostly harmless.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sets 2 more vials up there. These potions are dark blue, almost Yurei blue. These ones will turn your armor different colors. They'll actually be a different color tomorrow. They were green yesterday. I don't know if the color has any correlation to what color they turn you, but they just kind of turn different colors. Never did figure that one out. That was supposed to be a health potion, just a regular health potion.
Fun.
Not really sure where I went wrong. Oh, and I do have one more that I think the 2 of you might find interesting. And she rummages down and she pulls out another very small vial of an inky black liquid. And she sets it down next to the jar of chili sauce. And she says, "That's a fun one. That's a health potion. And then it makes you jitter."
Like coffee or like a bug?
Like the strongest coffee you've ever had.
Oh, yes.
It doesn't actually make you go faster, unfortunately, but you feel like you're going faster.
Oh,
My son calls it a panic attack in a bottle.
I know a few people that this would be great for.
Yeah, you swig the whole thing back, and it's you heal, you'll feel better, and then you don't, but then you do again.
So, out of curiosity, what variety of ingredients do you use to make these?
And she kind of rummages through and pulls out a tome that's about 3 inches thick. And she starts flipping through it. And Rain, you would have seen emblazoned on the front Grandma's Guide to Potions.
I love that.
And she flips through it and she gets to a section about 12 pages thick, labeled Health Potions and all their many uses. And she starts skimming through and she goes, "Well, let's see. Had a whole bunch of ingredients here for these. Is there anything specific you're looking for, or just my general recipe?" Because they all start with a base recipe, and then you can add, just about anything to them.
So, what's the most exotic ingredient you've ever used?
Ooh, the most exotic I've ever used. Why, that would either have to be 2 drops of tiefling blood or potentially devil semen.
What,
I
what
don't
did
like
that
the-
make?
I don't want to talk about it.
I do.
And exactly how long does it take you to make one of these?
Depending on my recipe, anywhere from 20 minutes to 20 hours. The more complicated ingredients, the longer they take, and the more fun effects.
If I supply you with an ingredient, could we get it for delivery later?
Well, I don't see why not. There's going to be a charge attached to it for custom potions. I don't normally take custom orders, but if you're supplying the ingredients, I can't see why there'd be any reason. I can't see why there'd be any reason I'd say no.
Excellent. Do you have an empty vial anywhere?
She just kind of looks up at the wall behind her, and you see a collection of empty bottles. Take your pick.
Pass me a small one.
And you watch as she kind of reaches up towards the top shelf, and the top shelf seems to come down to her, and she just plucks a bottle off the shelf, and it's only about 2 or 3 inches tall and about an inch around. How's this for you?
Perfect. She's gonna grab it, and she's gonna take like a dagger from her belt or whatever. And she's just gonna prick her finger, and she's gonna, drip some blood into the little vial. And it comes out black. She waits until it's like a quarter full, and then she stoppers it and hands it back. See what you can do with that.
She just kind of looks at you and looks at Augie. Does she normally go around making blood pacts?
Not that I know of, but I haven't
Only
known
with
her for that
family.
long.
Okay. Yeah, I can make at least a few potions with this. When do you need them by?
Well, we should be staying for at least the next night. So whenever they're done, you can just have them sent up to the castle.
Her eyebrows like reach up into her hairline. Oh, you folks are guests of the king. Absolutely, I'll get them going for you. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Did you want me to have all the potions delivered at the same time, or did you want to take some of them with you?
Oh,
Oh, actually, that would be
well,
helpful.
I think we'll take the fun ones, and then the regular ones can be delivered.
How many of the regulars were you looking for?
How many you got?
What flavor do you want?
Yeah,
Just
different flavors. That's awesome.
Sweet, salty, spicy, stuff like that.
spicy.
Ooh, spicy.
Spicy? I can do spicy. How many you need? I mean, between the two of you, you should be fine. But if you're guests of the king, you must have other people with you.
Or outfitting a whole bunch of people. So, I mean, how many do you have prepared?
She kind of for spicy. I have probably about a dozen. They're not my best, but I probably have about a dozen ready to go, and I can have probably 8 more ready by the time the fancy ones are done. Make it around 20.
How much do we owe you?
She pulls out her notepad again, and she kind of starts muttering to herself, and carry the 4, and I'll take away the 2. Oh, let's see. With the custom charge, there'll be a fee for delivery. I hope you all understand. I respect and appreciate that you are guests of the king, but I can't offer a discount on the potions.
Oh,
You
not
can't
at all.
do anything since we're offloading just so much.
She kind of looks over at you, Augie. I'm already giving you all basically free health potions with some fun side effects that you specifically wanted. You're getting these for coppers apiece.
Okay, okay.
I respect a smart businesswoman.
She kind of scribbles everything out, and it's like, okay, the total for everything with the customized, the custom potions delivery. We'll call it 4 platinum. We'll make it even. Make it easy.
Absolutely. And I put 4 platinum down.
Excellent. She very quickly swipes them off their counter, and you hear them clink into presumably a jar somewhere below the counter.
By the way, how long have you been around here?
Me, personally? Oh, I know you're not going to believe me based on how I look from what I've heard from the Surfies. But I'm relatively young. I'm only about 700 years old. I'm one of the young ones around here. My husband, though, love that man to pieces, and I know. Everybody says the age gap is a big deal, but we're just in love, and he's 300 years older than me. He just had his millennium recently, and I love that man. She kind of gets a wispy look in her eyes.
What's your husband do?
Cute.
He tests my potions.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
He does it willingly. I've told him I can hire apprentices, but he swears that if he's going to support me in this business, then it's only right that he's the one that tests them. That's how we found out the fire's harmless.
Oh. Is there somebody to bring him back in case something real unfortunate happens?
What do you mean bring him back?
In any case, I'm looking for someone old enough to remember Cypher's old castle.
Oh, goodness. Oh, wow, you want someone of the old guard. Well, you'll probably want to check with most of the castle staff. You might want to check with the cemetery keeper. And if you can, you might want to make your way down to Whirlpool Lake. There's a village there. It's one of the oldest places in this area. Real small little village, wonderful people, but definitely check there. They're some of the best.
You see, we did a favor for Cypher recently. We went down to the old castle and got rid of a little pest problem, if you know what I mean. But I picked up a bunch of knickknacks that just seemed to be left there in a hurry, and I was hoping that, if anyone were still around to want them, they'd, want them.
Ah, no, then you'll want to go to Market City. It's across the way from the Whirlpool Lake. That's going to be your place where you're going to have your artisans, your real old school people there. That's where they work. You might want to check with them, because if anywhere's going to know, it'll be them. That's where a lot of the old soldiers were too. Well, anyone that's left from the First War anyway.
Perfect. That's really helpful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anything else I can do for you youngins?
This was insanely helpful.
Well, glad to know that someone besides my dear husband appreciates my craftsmanship.
Absolute.
One last thing. We have some friends that like to experiment with things. Do you have just like a random grab bag of different ingredients that are unique to the Underdark around here anywhere that we could purchase?
Oh, honey, most of what you're looking at's unique to the Underdark. I don't dabble much with those surfy ingredients. Those are a little too rich for my taste, but
Well, if you just put a handful of whatever random stuff you think that would be fun to play with for anyone who's inexperienced with these type of ingredients, we'd happily buy them.
yeah. I suppose I can get a couple beginner kits going on, maybe make a couple mystery bags. Those are always popular with the kids.
Oh, he is like a kid.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll have them all added in there. It'll take me just a little bit of extra time, but I'll have everything loaded with the delivery. I'll get you guys the price when those are all delivered, and I'll get a couple kits going for you.
Perfect. How much do we owe you for that?
For those, and she kind of looks around the shop a little bit and kind of mutters, we'll call it 4 gold.
Done. Then Rain will kind of fish some money out from her purse and hand it over.
All right. She takes the coins and drops them into the jar. Anything else?
Do you know anybody who specializes in embroidery or fabric painting?
Looking for something fancy for a little someone special? And she kind of very unsubtly glances over at Rain.
Something like that.
Oh, well, we do have a fine tailor in this area. His name is Hellman, and he's just a couple houses down this way. And he usually does custom order things if you have your measurement sizes, and pretty much anything can be cut to fit. Maybe something a little nice for the evening. Maybe something casual to wear. Something maybe a little fireproof.
That is very specific. I'm just looking for some tunics.
Oh yes, of course, dear, of course. Just some casual tunics, of course. Yes, just head down the street there, talk to Hellman. He'll get you all sorted away.
Augie's like giving Rain the side eye to see what she's doing.
She just looks really amused.
Figures. And Augie's like, well, thanks. It's been great. Not awkward at all. See you later. Bye.
Rain's gonna wink as they exit.
She just kind of calls out, "Take your time with your tunics."
Augie's ears are a little red, but they're not acknowledging that at all. They're like, great, now I have to have this awkward conversation with Rain about how I'm not interested. And then they're thinking the whole way to the tailor if they've done anything that would possibly imply that they were interested in Rain, and then they'd feel real guilty about anything that might have to do with leading Rain on.
Oh, Augie,
no.
you poor sweet cinnamon roll.
What did we do to deserve Augie?
Let me in this campaign.
There. All right. The tailor is actually pretty easy to find because there's a sign with a bolt of fabric on it. And there are rows out front, and you guys have noticed that more people are starting to become more active. More shops are opening. A few more people are milling around. And you see that there are racks of clothing out front. There are dresses, slacks, tunics, just about any average everyday wear that you would see. And there is a sign, Rain, that you can read that says custom orders available for all occasions.
I'm going to read it out loud for Augie.
Is there a color that Tamsin tends to wear Not Tamsin. Jesus God, everyone has.
I mean, I think that the answer will be the same though. Green.
That's the second time tonight, actually.
Mhm.
Potentially.
Tanzanite wears more often.
In the short time that you guys have known Tanzanite, you've seen her mostly in greens and kind of neutral colors.
Called it.
Okay. I'm going to look for a tunic that is, I would say, like, whatever the prettiest, nice, deep, lush green that they would have. That looks also sized appropriately. Because, like, I look at Rain and I'm like, Rain, I don't know small people's sizing.
It's okay. I'll help you out with this.
Thank you.
Give me an investigation.
With advantage since Rain's helping.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Woo!
Needed it.
All right, with that investigation roll, it takes you guys just a couple minutes. But Augie, you do find a tunic that is in a very rich, regal shade of green. It's actually got some golden threading in it to kind of give it a little bit of a sparkle. And from what you can tell, it looks to be about Tanzanite size.
I figure that Rain would be comparing it to her own frame, since she and Tanzanite probably aren't that much different.
Yeah. Augie, as you take it over to Rain, and you kind of, it looks like it's probably pretty darn close. Maybe like a little big here, a little small there, but nothing that would be horrendously uncomfortable and or easily adjusted.
Okay. I grab it and I'll walk in the shop.
Inside is actually very bustling. It is a very large shop. There is one entire wall completely dedicated to more bolts of fabric in more colors and patterns and styles than you think you have ever seen before.
Whoa.
It is a veritable rainbow vomit on this wall. But everything is very tastefully organized. Nothing clashes how it's organized, but everything there is, if there is a color that exists in this world, it is currently on this wall.
While I have this mission in mind, I'm also going to be looking out for anything that I can get that will be something Augie can kind of wear in combat that will be like, I guess, less shiny, happy paladin and more like, I realize that a lot of our missions are subtle ones. So I need like dark leathers.
Okay. There's not as much leather in this shop, but there are several rows of dark, rich colors, very similar to what you've seen Yurei wear, kind of the same stuff that you've seen Kyrius wear, even Tanzanite when she's wearing just kind of her casual clothes. She's very much like in just the darker, rich neutrals. You see, thank you, Tamsin, for subscribing. And thank you, Dorky, for making this possible. Channeling our inner PBS. This is all possible thanks to viewers like you. But yes, there are rich bolts of fabrics and nothing leather, but lots of dark colors.
Yeah, I
easily
think
think
Augie's hitting their moody era.
Aw,
She's
Augie's
a
going
Get
to
Augie's a
teenager.
mithril.
Augie's joining the goth group.
I don't know if I would quite go that far.
Okay, you're just in your scene kid phase.
But it's more like pastel goth.
Hey, pastel
Really?
goth is still valid goth. I will
Yeah.
fight anyone who says otherwise. But yeah, pretty much any color that you can think of is there. And there are several workers running around. You guys see people, there are several clients who are being fitted and are having like final fittings. There is a woman getting fitted for a wedding dress. There is a man getting fitted for a suit. There are kids being fitted. There are people getting worked on for more very casual clothes. And you both hear being shouted out in this ancient undercommon is a voice of a very, very old man. Again, older than anyone you've seen, but you both have a sneaking suspicion he's not one of the quote young old people. As he is working with a woman and he barks out orders to two people standing behind him without ever turning and looking their way, and they go sprinting off in different directions, and you just constantly hear him barking out orders, and then he will return to having a soft voice with the young woman as he's like draping fabric across her and pinning things, like gently lifting her arm so she can see how everything flows, and then goes back to barking orders at people.
Well, this place is lively.
All with a mouthful of pins.
She looks beautiful. I look around and I do that thing where you like nonchalantly try to catch the eye of somebody who works there.
You guys aren't standing for very long, and a very frazzled yet very well put together employee bustles over to you and seemingly recognizes you, Rain, and gives you and he gives you a very charming smile, and he says in this very formal, ancient Elvish, "Why, welcome, beautiful customers, to Hellman's Boutique. How may I assist you?"
Is this one of the people I was like semi flirting with at the inn?
Yes.
Fuck yeah!
Augie cringes again, like what is with these people?
Ranger's just gonna give him a smile and like fan herself, like, oh my.
Hi.
And
I have a request. And I realize that it might be a weird request, upon reflection. But it has a purpose to me, and that's that it's to make someone happy. So, can you help me?
you notice when you mention that his whole demeanor changes from like the suave and the flirty to he kind of changes, and he just kind of, "Ah, yes, 'twould be mine honor to assist you to bring joy to your companions. How may I assist you?"
Okay. So, do you know what a possum is?
And he kind of possum? No, this is a strange word to me. Canst thou describe it to me and or define it to me? Tis a word have not heard before.
It's a surface world creature. About
So, Augie
this
takes out
big.
a book from her their bag, and it's like a kid's book with woodland creatures and stuff. And you know, because Rolo likes to read it at night for bedtime. And they flip to a page that has a possum on it.
And he just kind of looks at it and just kind of, this is a possum.
Yeah, Yeah. This is a possum. My question related to said possum is, can you put it on this tunic?
And he just kind of, yes, I can put the possum on the tunic. Where wouldst thou like it to be displayed?
Right front and center.
Excellent. And he just kind of gestures to take the tunic. And he brings it over to the table and kind of starts sketching out everything. Good night, Kyrius.
Good night.
And he kind of sketches out a very roughly possum shaped blob on the tunic.
I love it. Perfect. And if you could write right below, like do a nice little embroidery stitch that says, and I write it down, Tanzanite heart apostrophe S armadillos. Right. Can you stitch this underneath?
And he just kind of looks it over and just kind of nods and just kind of, yes, this can be added.
Wonderful. This is the best day ever. You really don't know. You're just making my whole year, honestly. It's been a tough one, to be frank, and this is phenomenal.
Ah, 'tis one of the things that brings us so great joy at Hellman's Boutique, to bring joy and wonder and passion to the clothing we create for our clients.
And since we're here and we have some time and I like doing fun things, I look over at Rain and I give her like this look like makeover question mark, and then if you were going to outfit me for a fight but make me look hot as hell, can you work with that?
Oh, I can definitely do that.
Because I have to impress someone when we get them out of a prison.
Ooh. He just, and the assistant kind of steps back as well, and he kind of evaluates you, Augie, and I believe the magic of Hellman's can make you a divine god of war.
Mm. Yeah, I want to be so spicy the Nine Hells doesn't want anything to do with me.
And he kind of looks at Rain, and you kind of see him catch the eye of someone else, and he goes, "It shall be done."
Early aughts teenage montage.
Get the music going and everything.
Yes.
Do we actually, since we've been going for about 2.5 hours, do we want to go ahead and take a short break while Rain and Augie have their fashion montage?
Sounds good to me.
And then we can come back with the undoubtedly deep, heavy conversation with Scratch and Tanzanite.
And not only that, but talk about favorite moments.
Oh, absolutely. Give our favorite moments during the break. I've got some fun ones to force you all to remember.
All right, we'll be back in 10. Well, we'll start again in 10.
And I will gladly draw Augie as sexy warrior.
Yes.
Hell yeah. But yes, as your DM, I am insanely curious about what everyone's favorite moments are so far.
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, why don't you answer?
Because I don't have an answer yet.
Shame.
Lachlan nearly drowning themselves in the star pool. That was funny. There was a lot of laughs. Am I wrong?
No,
No.
you're not wrong.
Why is the one with the nuke strapped to them so suicidal?
I think my favorite moment was probably the family dinner at the Kitsune Ranch.
Oh, yes.
That was probably my favorite.
Oh, that's great.
Just sharing the tea and enjoying making Masaru's life miserable.
Joke's on you, he loves his family.
Yeah, but doesn't like thinking about them having sex with his crew.
No.
Exactly.
Honestly, if there wasn't a nuke strapped to Lachlan, he might consider murder. That nuke on you is the only thing keeping you alive, fuckboy.
Well, I have one that I've been sitting on for a couple days. That is from way back in the beginning. From even before Opal had been possessed. Scratch and Halstrom, Bright Eyes and Mineo had to cross a river. And so they had opted to tie a rope around Scratch, fling him to the other side of the river. We're going to use the rope.
Uh-huh.
There was just one problem. He forgot to secure the other end of the rope to anything when Scratch had been flung.
Yep. So the entire rope went with him.
The entirety of the rope went with him. And while they were doing that, Halstrom and Opal shared a moment and they just maneuvered a log to make a bridge while all that was going on.
Classic.
I I have a special brand, in case you haven't caught on yet, of chaos where I just like to throw out random shit and see what sticks as canon.
No, haven't ever noticed that before. Have no idea what you could possibly be talking about.
When have you ever done
And-
that?
No,
Never.
I don't. It's fake news.
So do me.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Do you regret having scratched no Augie prior?
No, not at all. I love little histories like that so far.
I think my favorite stuff is in the beginning when we were still kind of fresh and having fun before it was like, oh shit, missions.
Mhm.
And just trying to teach Mr. Scratch how to be civilized
And sociable.
and sociable.
Yes. Yes, and the many pranks that ensued during that time.
Hmm.
Oh, yes.
I do enjoy the prank war with all the coffee. That was fun.
Ugh.
The spicy coffee.
Nope.
And
I
fucking
really
around with
enjoyed-
invisible mage hand.
I really enjoyed interrupting the newly married king and queen's wedding night.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I had forgot about that.
Poor Mr. Scratch.
Yeah, poor guy.
His little heart done broke.
You'll find someone for you.
Won't be an elvish princess.
It could be.
You don't
It just
know.
might not be that one.
There's a whole world out there.
There's more than one princess in this world.
True.
I will say another one of my favorite moments is it was one of her earliest moments was with the interrogator.
Ugh.
Just because she is a fun character that I very much enjoyed being able to kind of, I won't say I messed with you guys because I probably didn't, but just her whole demeanor is very fun. Just having that character that is not impressed by any stretch, by anything you do, is very fun. She also hates all of you with a burning passion. For all very different reasons, but she hates all of you.
As she should. I enjoyed those conversations.
Yeah, what a blast.
Who knows? Maybe she'll come back.
Her
If
life is
anyone's
in danger.
wondering,
Then
Augie still doesn't like the demon horses.
Yeah, neither does Scratch.
How do you not like the nightmares?
Because they're abominations.
Hellstrom's tolerates them before they have use.
Technically, they're not extraplanar.
And that is why they've stayed.
I will also
Or
say,
buttercream.
poor Buttercream. She's so depressed. I will say though, watching Augie's blossoming feelings for Opal has also been very entertaining.
Again, one of those things where I just said something stupid and it snowballed into a plot line.
That's what you get for saying things.
I can't help it. It just comes out my mouth.
Mm-hmm. And that's how you wind up with a crush on your big bad.
It's how it happened. I mean, also the character portrait was just delish. So, I mean, I couldn't help it.
You mean the old art that I ripped from Google?
Yep. You've ripped good art, okay? I can't. Augie can't be faulted.
We do have an updated portrait for him. Not as good.
I'm going to come over there and smack you.
I might
I
have
like
to
yours better.
rethink my divine feelings.
Oh wait, yeah, we just posted the picture of how he looks now, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Something you guys will have to see in the public Discord. Link down below.
Absolutely. It's such good art. I love it so much.
I can repost it in character art and references for the Discord.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah. And we can probably find a new spot to put it in the public Discord too, so all of our wonderful fans can see it. And ooh and ah at your wonderful art skills.
Ew. Art.
Right? Like I can make art with word. I can story tell. But to actually put like pen on paper, digital or otherwise, and make color do the thing blows my mind.
That's what you have us for.
Exactly.
Does anyone else have any favorite moments?
my over-the-top finishers with Yurei.
Yeah, you're gonna
Just
make me.
remind us that we're all subpar in comparison.
Yeah, nerf the ninja.
Sneak with Joe P.
Gotta figure out how to nerf the ninja.
Okay.
I'll have
Well,
to
if
try
we're
to
ready,
find something that's immune to sneak attack damage.
if we're ready to go back.
There we go, Augie. Reposted in character item references in Adventures Anon.
I mean, your art's good. I'm just saying that the original picture was chef's kiss.
Look, he had a slut phase.
It was a good face. You should go back to that face.
Well,
Nice
now you have to post the original picture so that we can all see it.
I'm gonna have to re-find it.
Well, the timer.
I have
is
how
up.
he looks before the possession.
Nope, hasn't been posted yet. But that is a conversation for another day.
I mean, you guys have seen how he looked. I mean, why not? Why can't I post it?
Because we're back in game.
I mean, you can still post it. It's just on the Discord.
Yeah, you can post it, but you know, conversation time. Heavy conversation time.
I do have to bid farewell, as it is very much past my bedtime.
Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah.
staying later.
Yeah.
Look, he's so cute.
You still attracted to him, Magi? Has your physical attraction to him waned at all, or are you only attracted to him in his slut phase?
My headcanon is still the original picture, and you cannot take that from me.
I don't plan to.
So, all right. Bye. Good night. Good night.
Have a good night.
Bye. All right. So yes, as we're back in, Scratch, your crewmates have gone off with the various tasks that you've assigned them. You have Salt there with you. You're sitting on the rock, and Tanzanite has just kind of. You have Rolo, or Salt has Rolo, just kind of holding the little ball of armadillo.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanzanite has just kind of sat down on the ground next to the rock, leaning against it.
So, still mad at me?
That wildly depends, Scratch. Why would I be mad at you now?
For the whole plan.
No, I'm not mad at you, and I was never mad at you.
Uh-huh. I'm sure. Never crossed your mind.
Okay, fair enough. I was mad. Not mad at you, just mad at the idea.
Well, the question is, do you stay here or do you keep coming with us?
As much as I want to go with you and valiantly charge into battle, fling myself headlong into danger, I think it's safer if I stay here. I'm not wussing out on the plan. But you guys are just going to have to keep babysitting me if I stay.
You think that's a problem?
What's going to happen, Scratch, if something gets a hold of me and you guys have to drop everything and somebody else gets hurt?
I don't know about you, but did you just see the big something that we just took care of with no one dying?
Yes, I did see the big something that we just took care of with no one dying. And I'm terrified for the time that there is the even bigger something that we have to face, that somebody does get hurt. I watched the living stalactite thing take a chomp out of Kyrius.
He's fine.
Well, he's fine. Until he's not. And
I mean-
I don't want to be the reason that you guys get hurt. Because if anybody in this group is going to wind up getting hurt, it's not going to be you. It's not going to be Salt. It's not going to be Augie. It's not going to be Rain. It's not going to be Masaru. Or wherever the fuck he went. Or the tall, spooky one. The shadow dude. It's not going to be him. It's not going to be Halstrom. It's not going to be Lachlan. It's going to be me.
Oh yeah, Yurei never introduced himself to her.
Correct.
A good plan, though.
It's a great plan. But that's why Rain gave my uncle the idea for the coins. And that's a good plan. And I'm not saying that if you do need my help somehow, I won't come help.
Ah,
Aw, you're just gonna miss me.
he stands there for a minute. Blink, blink.
It's okay, I'll miss you too. You don't have to say it.
Good, didn't plan on it. Ahem. Well, regardless, staying here. Don't be jumping into that damn bottles again.
I make no promises, but I will talk to my uncle about monitoring my alcohol, and I won't drink anything that causes hallucinations this time.
I could probably work with Lachlan and make some kind of potion that makes your body, like, intolerable to alcohol.
Do you really want to make me drink something that Lachlan makes?
And I'd rather not work with the doctor, but
I promise, Scratch, that I won't go as deep into the bottle. I will probably still drink, but I will talk to my uncle about watching my alcohol intake and probably the creepy butler.
okay. I just wanted to make sure everything was on the same page.
And I won't fling myself into any unnecessary combat either.
Good. Which I don't think you're gonna find any down here, but
We both know you've met my brother. I'll find trouble somewhere.
True. But you could have stayed on the ship if you needed to. Once we get back to the ship.
I appreciate that, Scratch. I really do. I think it'll be better for me to stay here. As much as I want, like I said, as much as I want to go rushing off into battle, I think I've been being selfish, and I think I need to sit down and think about what would really be helpful.
All right.
And I think not making Rain babysit me on her broom would be a good start. As cool as the broom is.
Okay. You say so. I'm not gonna argue. Doesn't get either of us anywhere anyway. Scratch is gonna sit on the rock. And carefully take out the crystal from his belt.
Tanzanite just kind of watches you, doesn't say anything, just kind of watching.
I would like to do something a little unorthodox.
Yeah.
I would like to channel like my intelligence and my magical ability and attempt to reach out and possibly communicate with whatever might be inside the crystal.
Okay, that was the one that Brutus almost got sucked into.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Give me an intelligence check. Okay. You are able to the magic that you have, you are able to kind of channel it and reach out because you have felt the draw, the soul pull of these crystals before. And you're able to kind of reach into it. And you definitely feel something trying to reach back.
Okay. What if I channeled a spell slot into this attempt to try and bridge that connection?
Okay, okay. What level spell slot are you looking to use?
I'll use a 3.
Okay. Yeah. Any specific spell you're looking to channel, or just that amount of energy?
Just that amount of energy. I don't think I really have anything that would, like a spell that would, well, actually, even though it can't be upcasted, but if the DM will allow, maybe that.
Yeah, I for this, I since you have a specific idea with what you're trying to do, I will allow this to be an upcast. And so as you're connecting to this thing, you you very much feel it. It takes a second. Are you holding it in your bare hands? Are you holding it in like a cloth, a glove? How are you holding it?
I've got it in the cloth,
Okay. Okay.
in the ungloved hand.
Okay. What is the verbal you want to do with this?
Identify is.
And it doesn't have to be what your normal identify would be. It can be something different because we're kind of doing an abridge of the spell, so it doesn't have to be exactly what it was before.
Colonel Mac, show me what I have. So I'll make it a prayer, kind of, too.
Okay. Okay. As you're focusing on this, you get a rush of energy that kind of flows into and then back out of you into this crystal, but you don't feel the soul pull. You, in fact, feel something pushing back at you. And you hear a voice very similar to the dragon that you had just fought.
Okay.
And you hear this voice as it cries out for help, for anyone. It's so dark, it's so quiet. Can anyone hear me?
I've created a Horcrux.
You have put a chunk of your own soul into this crystal.
Mine?
That's how you create a Horcrux.
Well, no, yeah, but I no. Yeah,
What is a
I'll
Horcrux if not a copyrighted phylactery?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'll answer it and mentally answer it and try and let it know I'm there.
Okay. You hear it. You hear this voice, and it sounds very much like the dragon you fought, but much younger. And you hear this dragon calling out to you, and it tells you its name is Vermithrax, and it's been trapped in a crystal. Something has taken over my body. I don't know how I got here. Can you help me?
Oh my goodness, dark urges. I think I'll go the truth route.
Your body was slain. However, perhaps I can get you into a new body.
You can do that? You can get me out?
Possibly. But there'd have to be a deal to be made.
What kind of deal? What kind of deal?
Aid me and my companions. And I will create this form for you.
If you can get me out, I'll help you. If you can't get me out, I will haunt you once I'm freed. If you can put me in a new body, I will aid you on your quest. But if you're lying to me, I will make your life hell.
Agreed.
And I slowly wrap the crystal back up and put it in my belt.
Okay.
And Scratch will pull out his notebook and start to sketch a larger version of Spark with an arcane cannon attached.
Roll me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save? No.
Yes. You can still hear the dragon's voice in the back of your mind.
Oh, that's fine.
We can deal with this.
You wanted a dark urge.
That's fine. I have a god-slaying medal.
Watch out, squirrels! Here he comes.
I have god-slaying medal, an arcane cannon, and a dragon soul, and the ability to make homunculi.
Yeah. I'm aware.
Oh boy. And I'll put the crystals tucked away safely and begin that sketch.
Tanzanite has been watching you and is just kind of... She hasn't said anything. She's just kind of watching you.
I wonder what would happen if we altered the ship into the... Maybe the ship can transform.
Scratch.
Gonna have a very angry machine spirit.
Ha! What? What is it?
Who were you talking to?
Oh, just myself.
Uh-huh. Why
What?
were you staring at that crystal?
Well, you see, when I launched this at the dragon, I was hoping that it would have some kind of effect, and it did not have the effect that I originally expected it to have, and so I was trying to perceive if there was like cracks or if it was damaged, because if it's damaged after that point, it probably is not going to be worth anything anyway. But it seems to be all right.
Roll me deception. She is suspicious but believes you. Okay. You could probably take it to a jeweler and they can probably tell you with more exact detail. I could probably take a look.
I'll be honest, I don't want to take it to any jeweler down here, because I saw a guy before we went into the cave that had one around his neck, and I really think his significant other was trying to, like, murder him. But they're kind of dangerous, like, if you touch them, which is why I haven't touched this one yet. But thank you for the offer.
Yeah. If you want me to take a look at it for flaws or anything before you guys leave, Opal's not the only one in the family that's a jeweler.
That's new knowledge, but I'll keep that in mind.
What, he didn't talk about his family before you guys went gallivanting off on adventures?
No, not that I recall. I'll be honest, I really didn't pay much attention to much of what he said back before. So he might have.
No, he probably didn't. He gets weird about being half drow and our whole family. It's just, I don't know. He's weird, I'm weird, you're weird. Stuff's weird.
I would say probably about this time is when that wave of sorrow probably hits.
Yep.
And Scratch just kind of steals himself for a moment.
You are handling it much better than Tanzanite is.
Well, that was unexpected.
Oh my god, what the fuck? What was
It's
that?
probably some after effects of the crystal. I probably touched something the way I shouldn't have. Sorry about that.
Just don't do it again, okay?
Don't worry, I have it wrapped up. It shouldn't be a problem. It's a little rough.
So,
Take out a
what's the
little. Hold on, I'll take out a little. One of my kobold pocket cakes and reach up and put it in Salt's hands with Rolo.
Aww.
Just absently.
Salt has cake in one hand, armadillo in the other. I would assume Augie would encourage Rolo to eat the cake.
I would assume that the armadillo would be choosing for themselves.
I don't know. I feel like Rolo's a pocket cake kind of dillo.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I'm down to 2.
So what's the plan after all this, Scratch?
Well, I suppose we get everybody back together and then we go see the all-powerful one that's down here, and then we go attempt to rescue Opal. I'm gonna have to rethink that plan.
The rescue or the confronting the Almighty?
Oh, the rescue. I'm not worried about Zypher. I've read the books. It was a big hype. The reality was a little disappointing.
Hey, 5,000 years changes a guy.
And gives you such a crick in the neck. But yes, we'll have to rethink the plan once we get everybody back together, and once we get the ship back, which I have no idea how we're going to do that. It's probably in some kind of lockup or something. I don't know how law systems work in these above ground places, but I mean, if we have to, we could always steal it. It wouldn't. I don't think there'd be much that could stop us.
Aren't you guys friends with somebody powerful or something? I mean, besides the queen, aren't you somebody like more powerful than her? Can't you just like, I don't know, call in a favor, get your ship out of impound?
I'm sure we have a lot of favors we could call in, but we seldom remember to do things like that.
You'd think that'd be something you'd want to keep track of.
Yeah, probably would be. But explosions are more fun.
You know, maybe it's a good thing I'm not going back to Tethea with you guys. I don't think I'd want to get caught in that explosion.
Flame retardant clothing and you'll be fine.
So glad to know my flammability is your number one concern.
Oh yeah. Number one.
Should we have the crew start to reassemble at that awkward moment?
Sure, why not?
Or do you have anything else you need to talk to Tanzanite about? Or have Salt do? Or roll up?
No, I think checking out that crystal was really the only thing. Well, he would take some time and kind of sort through the stuff that we gathered, just to make it more manageable, since we were kind of like rushing and just throwing stuff into bags.
Right.
So his little dragon horde instincts would start sorting things out a little bit to take inventory.
Okay. Yes, I will get you the completed list once it's completed for everything you've hoarded.
Yep, that's fine.
All right, so do we want to reassemble the Avengers and then call it for tonight? How does that sound to everyone?
Sounds like a plan. We got supplies done and some RP moments in. I think that's a good place.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Hear no objections.
I'm good.
All right. Well, I will sign us off then from there. Sorry we didn't have icons for our watchers today. I did get a message that says, "Hold on, I'm trying to fix it." So whoever runs the site is trying to fix it. But yeah, thank you everyone for celebrating this weekend with us for our 1-year anniversary. Please check out follow us here on Twitch, subscribe if you're able, donate if you're able, check us out on YouTube, X, Facebook, TikTok, and join our public Discord and become part of the Duo team. With our holiday break coming up halfway through November, we'll probably be running some one-shots, and we usually open those up to our Discord friends. So you could get a chance to play with the team and play some D&D, and if it's your first time, that's fine. We don't mind teaching. I even run some D&D workshops here and there through the year. So, yeah, keep an eye on us for Duo Game Nights, Duo After Dark. Those are always fun. And without anything else to pander and peddle to everyone, I will just like to say there are 20 sides to every story. Roll for yours. Have a good night, guys.
Good night.